The reason why I made Suture Scab is because I wanted to express myself as a black person, as a woman, and as an American. As Americans, we close off these spaces and say they're toxic. But what the unicorn does is the unicorn is purifying the water. And so I have to, as an artist, go into these places, these crevices, these places that are rifts in gender and race. I want to go there. I want to go into the shadow of death.
You and that fucking Harriet Tubman think y'all slick.
Hi, I'm Harriet Tubman, and I think I'm slick.
Suture Scab started in school. I believe I was home for after the first summer. And I went to the Met Cloisters and I saw these tapestries called The Hunt of the Unicorn. I was immediately inspired because I thought, oh wow, the Hunt of the Unicorn starts with these noblemen and hunters, AKA the police, capturing this unicorn, taking it back to the castle, killing it. Yet in the last tapestry, the unicorn is resurrected. So I was like, wow, what if I could take that and parallel that with everything that's happening in the news, with all of these atrocities that are happening against the black body? Could I use this ideology? Could I start using this idea of resurrection? So here I am exploring everything about resurrection and even starting to change my thoughts on death and how we say resurrection is such a good thing, but death is a necessary component of that. And what does that actually mean? And so I'm starting to play with this idea of this unicorn. It was a unicorn. I was just using the white unicorn at first. And and one of my teachers said, well, Ayo, what does a black unicorn look like? And I have not stopped smiling since. I thought, wow, genius. And I've just been on a pathway. Yes, yes. I've just been on a pathway like any hole I can go in, black unicorn, to discover, resurrect potentially, the meaning of the goodness of people. And does this, yet at the same time, this is some very heavy, energetic work.
Hey, y'all better get in line.
Y'all, you see me too?
Child, I see everything.
It started off as a longer title called Within Every Tear, There's a Suture, Every Scar, a Scab. And for me that meant, within every tear there's a suture, for every problem there's a solution. But for every accident that's happened, it caused some rift, and I understand it and I'm accepting of it. So here we are. Suture Scab is about a black unicorn and her shadow who are resurrecting dead black bodies. And so it's kind of explaining their relationship with each other and also what they do. And at one point, they meet death. And giving death this voice was an important, maybe the most important aspect of the film for me. Not being afraid of death, understanding death in a way that was kind of humorous, yet a little sad.
So don't get any ideas and try to flee. I need you to listen to me. I would have assumed there'd be wards protecting you, but here I am standing right next to the only black unicorn.
To talk about the psychology of Suki and Shade, I want to go to one specific point in the film, which always makes my eyes go like this because I couldn't believe I said it. But I allowed for Shade, the shadow, to turn around and be like,
An altruistic black unicorn that saves black people. White people will eat that shit up. Suki, I don't ever say anything when you bring those ashy dead people back. Got the tent smelling like booty sweat.
but I just allowed myself to say the things that I should not say. And those are the places that I want to go to and explore because I believe that my impetus always is about healing. And I want to go to those painful places. And then I want to talk about them. I want to give them air. I want somebody to say, hey, I felt uncomfortable. Okay, you did? Well, maybe me too. Let's talk about it. I have 3 plaster figures in the film. The third figurine I called the Henrietta Lacks because Henrietta Lacks was a black woman who they did a medical experiment on and utilized her cells or genes to do further medical experiments without her permission. And I wanted to place this right in the middle of the lunch table to represent somebody's always taking from this body.
I'm tired. We walked around all day yesterday, and then yoga, and then grocery shopping, and did laundry. And, girl.
There's a line in the movie where Death is speaking to Suki and says, I was doing my job better than I ever had. And I didn't care. I didn't care who I was taking until you came along. And I think it came as a surprise for Death because now there's this adversary. There's this person who is challenging who Death is as an entity. It also brings up the point that do any of us specifically know these people who have died, and do we actually care? So there's a bit of hypocrisy in everyone's selective caring about, and I think it's a general feeling of something needs to change, and I think that we are all trying to do our best to reconstruct society in a way that will benefit us in the future.
I don't know, but maybe Death could let us get some real rest. I know I'm tired. Is NASA gonna sell us tomorrow? Selling shipped up Georgia. See, I told you, be yourself. Be a black unicorn. Go full black.